push that button. I'm going to push this button right here. We'll see what happens. And we will wait until someone says...
Says we're offline.
No, we're doing fine. We're doing fine here, everybody. Okay. Let's see. Is anybody... You would think there would be somebody that would have a comment typed in there already.
I said, we're good to go.
Thumb up, or here, thumbs up, or thumbs down, or some shit like that. So, okay. Hello.
Hello.
Everybody. The first thing I got is about Donko. Donko just asked on here, what's up? And Donko is always very quick to point out hairs in my beard. And it is annoying as shit. I shoot this video, I get all cleaned up, I shoot a video, I put it all out, I process it, and do all kinds of crazy shit I have to, and then I upload it, and then I click on it and look at it, and I'm like, God, son of a bitch, there's a flipping hair stuck out the side of my neck, and Donko's always really quick to go, there's a fucking hair sticking out the side of your neck. And I never knew where that came from because I had just cleaned up. And so today I figured it out. When I get a hold of a phony Navy SEAL, and I just got one today, and it's a pretty damn good one, I'll tell you that, for a lot of reasons. And I'll get him up. What I do is I set it up with a guy that is upset with this phony. Hopefully I can get one. They're not all, most of them don't, but this one was a Marine scout sniper, and he'd had enough of this guy bullshitting him. So he set him up. So I said, okay, I'll call you back in 15 minutes, and then you do this, and you merge the call with that asshole and all that stuff. So what do? It's the same thing I do when I make a video or I'm prepping for the phony. I get everything ready, and the last thing I do is I go into that bathroom, I comb my hair, I comb my beard, everything looks fine. I come out here and sit down. Well, I did it today, and the sun was just shining through the window at the perfect angle, and it looked like I had a muskrat under my chin. And I was like, what in the hell? I could never see them before. Turns out what it is I'm using Diane's hairbrush to hit my beard, and those light hairs just don't show up. I mean, I can't see them. But I can see him on the video, and Donko certainly can.
Well, I don't want you using my brush on your old beard.
Well, I never knew before. It's like, how in the hell I just cleaned up? How in the hell's that hair there?
Oh, well, I'm going to get you your own brush. I'll put Don's brush on it.
I figured it out.
Only use that one.
I figured it out. So, there you go. How's everybody doing? I think we're rocking here.
Hi, Flower Monkey. For you guys that don't know... Flower Monkey. She has been a friend of ours for a very, very long time on here, and she is in England, and she is such a good artist. She is into all kinds of art, and she is gifting me one of my favorite things that she's done, and it is on the way from England as we speak to my house. So I'm so excited to see it. I like quirky little things, and so does she. So as soon as it arrives, I'm going to let you guys see it because I'm very excited to have it.
She needs to do a video.
She does need to do a video.
She's up way past her bedtime over there.
Flower Monkey and us go way, way back. So I'd love to meet her in person. Catherine is wonderful.
Way off of the Facebook. Like the old days of busting phonies. Years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
And, of course, okay, I've been overwhelmed today. I got a lot of shit done around here, which is a good thing. I had to distract myself because I guess everybody's already seen this stupid picture of Jeffrey Epstein dressed up as a naval officer and wearing a trident, a Navy Cross, Silver Star. I mean, it's just obnoxious. I mean, who could put those three stooges together? As if we haven't had enough trouble. Now everybody's wanting to know if Jeffrey Epstein was a SEAL. The conspiracy theories are all over the place. It was SEALs that killed Epstein. I mean, it's getting fucking bad out there. But I can tell you that's a costume, and he wasn't a seal.
Could people not see that the woman beside him is in costume? That it's obviously a Halloween party? I mean, a little common sense is all it is.
No, not for some people. It's no. There was another big one. Some guy is a lot of this Eddie Gallagher's thing is nothing more than anti-Trump. They'll do anything to stomp on Trump. And some of the most vocal voices out there about Eddie Gallagher being released, when you look at who they are and what they've done in the past, it's all anti-Trump. They're just using this one. So some asshole posted up a picture of Eddie Gallagher with this dead 14-year-old. I think I just did a video about that. How the hell would you know how old that guy is? That kid. Did you ask his parents after you killed him? Did you lift the boy's wallet or some shit? How do you know he's a 14-year-old? But it's blurred out, but the image is not of the guy doing it. And it's an army guy. He's posing with a dead terrorist. And they got it up there of Eddie Gallagher, doing it again. And anti-Trump. Okay, you want me to change? I'm going to change the subject. How about that? What do you got?
Nothing. What you got? What do you got?
Well, I'll tell you about we've got well, should I do this one first? If we're on about bullshit, let me show you this. Let me tell you what they do in Chesapeake, Virginia for deer hunting. They use hounds. They use dogs. They use long-legged beagles for the most part. And these dogs, like the guys we had with near us, he had 120 of these dogs. He fed them once every 3 days. And when he opened the tailgate of that truck, those dogs were nothing but muscle and sinew, and they ran all day long. They were just... And they'd put them in and just blow the deer. That's swamps. They had to put dogs in there to run the deer out of the swamps. Anyhow, when you go up, they had them all in their kennels, and they would load them up a loading platform like a cow. And one guy would attach a radio collar to this dog, and the other guy would spray paint a number on him real quick. 34, and they'd load him in the truck, and 22, and they'd load him in the truck. And so here's the latest one that comes up that just drives me absolutely fucking nuts. I'm sure some of you have seen the fucking polar bear that got graffiti spray painted on him that they're making a big deal out of. That some hooligans spray painted that polar bear. And now he's all screwed, his camouflage is all screwed up for hunting seals. Now, I agree with that a little bit. But do you think that some hooligans went up there with a couple of ham and cheese sandwiches and got that bear to stand still while they spray painted that son of a bitch? That's the nastiest predator on the face of this earth. And that's all they're on about, the vandalism of graffiti on that bear. That's some scientist that shot him out of a helicopter with a tranquilizer and obviously weighed him and measured him and all that other stuff and marked him. I don't know what for, but I find it a little hard to believe that
A bunch of kids or something went up there.
Yeah, a bunch of kids. Hey, let's go fucking spray paint a polar bear.
Flower Monkey says we met in 2007.
Yeah.
Damn, we're getting old, Catherine.
See you in the next life.
Yep.
You want me to do one more and I'll just shut up?
What else you got?
Okay, finally. I helped out a guy from class 61 try to relocate and hook up with somebody. He's not on the internet, Facebook type of guy. And 63. He started in 61. He graduated in 63. And in November 1971. And he sent me some pictures of him and a picture of his class graduating photo. And he told a badass story that I had never heard of before. I'd always kind of, I don't know if I really wondered about it. But if the Buds building isn't intimidating enough when you walk in that you're about to go through this training, it's like, holy shit. When you walk through the door, the first thing you see, the most intimidating thing, because it's all the water, because of all the things in the water and all the things at night and bumping, It's the creature of the Black Lagoon that's holding that sign, so you want to be a frogman. And everybody remembers that movie. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. But it's very intimidating putting it there. And he said some of his classmates found that in a pawn shop in San Diego, bought it, and brought it back to the
Really?
Buds. There it goes right there.
I've got my picture taken with that thing.
Yeah, that's class 63, November 1971, and all the guys, and that is the original class. The guy.
I always wondered where that thing came from. That's pretty cool.
Yep, glad I hooked him up.
Yeah.
So go ahead, start running your suck.
No, a couple of days ago we were talking about it. Don came up with this idea about our subscribers, our friends on here, putting up some videos so that we could get to know you guys better and see sort of where you're from and stuff. And boy, is that working out good. The first one that Don put up, of course, was from Steve, infantryman, hound dog. And you guys enjoyed that. But Hosenfeld has sent one in. Buddy sent one in. And I'm really going to like this. I think you guys are really, really going to like this. Hosenfeld, we've not posted it up yet, but he sent it in, and he did an extremely wonderful job. I know that everybody is not going to be as gifted as him at doing it. I certainly wouldn't be. But I don't know if Terry's on here or not. I don't have my glasses on, but we're going to talk to Terry, and we're going to have Terry to film a video and put it up. He's very familiar with all the different things that you guys use, cameras, your different iPhones, all that stuff. So Terry will be able to make it very, very simple and walk you guys through it. I only know how to do the shit that I've got. I don't know all of the other stuff like he does. So Terry will put up a video very soon of how you all can do it, and I hope that you do, because that was cool watching Hosenfeld the other day. He did a really good job.
I think it's going to intimidate people.
I don't think it is. I think that it's going to. I think that when you guys watch Hosenfeld's video, that you're going to get sort of the things that he covered. I mean, we got to see his collectible cars he loves. We got to see where he lives. We got to see his dog. We got to hear about why he loves being on the site, with all the Patriots. And I think that that's going to give everybody a really good thing of what you need to talk about and what you can cover. I thought he did a great job. So we'll get that up in the next day or two. And my girls, I hope you all won't let me down. I hope you'll do it too, because we only got a smattering of females on here, and all of the boys love interacting with you all, and we would like to see what you look like. I put my fat ass up here every week, so you guys get to see me out in my pool.
There's
So
a new girl on here, Pam.
we got a new Pam.
Joffrey. I can't even. It's not Jeffrey. Jeffrey. He writes like Chuck. No.
He.
Well, his wife is on here.
Oh.
Just, I don't know.
So I have been on this damn keto thing, and I have not been having any really good food. Not that I haven't skipped a time or two having a piece of pizza or a piece of bread or something, but I really have just been craving everything that I've not had in a long time. So we were with Greg yesterday, and we decided we have the Hyatt Regency up here, and we went for Mother's Day, and it was fabulous. I mean, the food was everywhere. It's the best thing I've ever had. So we said to Greg yesterday, let's meet up at the Hyatt, and we'll go have a great breakfast. I was so excited. We got there. That sucked. That was the worst breakfast I have ever had in my life. I thought it was going to be this big, sprawling buffet. Little pancakes about that big, little pieces of waffle about that big, but I ate 2 plates of pancakes and 2 plates of waffles. Because that's the only thing that was edible.
The omelet sucked, the bacon.
The bacon, you could have tied it in a knot. It was absolutely awful. So
Bad.
I've blown it. I've had 3 pieces of candy. I've had a chocolate pudding. So
been better off with a breakfast burrito from McDonald's.
I would have. I would have enjoyed a sausage biscuit from McDonald's would have been better. So the breakfast sucked, and so I'm getting back on my thing tomorrow, and you are too, since you're feeling better.
Yeah, I'll be
Because if he's going to be on The Bachelorette, you got to be looking good.
When I tell people the truth, sometimes I don't hear back from them. And
What
that's
the hell you
half
say?
That's half of the reason I do it. Well, I related to them that, we had Paul Boyd from Inside Edition out there, and within 5 minutes, Paul Boyd stopped everything, and he came up to me and he goes, "How long is this going to go on for?" I was like, "Just easy, dude. It'll be over quick." And I don't think they'll, careful what you wish for, is what I said. I said, "How long is this supposed to go on?" And they were like 4 hours.
They said you were going to put them through that for 4 hours?
I don't know if it was the complete 4 hours or the complete everything rolled up. We need you for 4 hours or something. But I was like,
I doubt that it's going to be 4 hours, because I know the
I had
editing.
You crying for your mama in just a few minutes, and I went over that. I'm a professional. I can get this done. I know what you want. You don't know what you want, but I know what you want, and I can do that and add a lot of humor to it. But yeah, we're going to see. We would see who's who out there real fast. Your personality would flip and come out. They would be able to pick a bachelor out of that group within minutes. And the ones they'd never recover from it.
Well, I think
Screaming and hollering and shit.
I know how much editing goes into it, because I make no apologies. I watch that show every time it comes on, and I've seen them out there with professional football players, with professional wrestlers, with all that stuff. And I don't know how long the professional football players out there had them out there doing sprints and all that, but they edit that shit down to about that long. So, but I hope you get to go. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, there's Sea Duck Robert.
Sea Duck Robert.
Sea Duck Robert hit one out there. He did. He hit one. I put it down. I put it down for him. And we are going sea duck hunting with Greg's son for the next crew that's coming in. And I'm just going to start drinking tomorrow. I mean, that just one thing that's going to happen here is we are going to shoot a lot of shells, but we are going to drink to dangerous levels.
No, I'm going to get the hell out of here.
Dangerous levels. This is not going to go well, but we're going to have to give it hell. But
well, we have ran into, and I know we've talked about it on here, but we've ran into a couple of problems lately, and this isn't the first one, of our wounded guys that are supposed to be coming down. The last time our wounded guy was injured, and then he was supposed to come the next time, and then he hit a deer and got really hurt, got his shoulder all screwed up, and had to end up being in the hospital, so he couldn't make the last hunt. And then he was supposed to be coming in, and I called him, and he's back in the hospital, something about his blood counts or an infection or something, and so he can't come again. So it's not like we were second fiddle or anything, but we are trying to get all kinds of different members from the websites and different wounded warriors down here. And so we just found it out, and I said, why don't you call Infantryman? Call Steve. And Don did, and God, Lord and behold, he can make it. So he's coming, and we're tickled to death. We're absolutely tickled to death.
test out his new bionic legs down here.
Yeah, he's got his new legs, his new thing. So that's going to be good.
So we're going sea duck hunting, and I guess Sea Duck Robert. We took all the ducks and ducks up to get them cleaned at Emmett, the duck picker, and you guys have seen that process done on here before when we pick them up. And Emmett's just a great guy. And there was another guy there dropping off ducks, and he was a big son of a bitch. And I don't even know how it came up. He just caught in our conversation or something, and he asked me, if I recall, what I did, and I told him I was a SEAL. I don't remember how all that came up, and that fucker went. And he starts giving me he starts picking at me about all that shit.
He thought you were a phony?
He gave me the eye. And fucking eyebrows of that Marines went straight up, and he was all on about this and that and what he'd done with the spec war and the teams and the Philippines and all that. And he goes, "You know Master Chief Herschel Davis?" And I said, "Yeah, you want his number?" And he said, "You got his number? I haven't talked to him in years." I was like, "Here it is, right here." This is a good get. So him and Herschel started texting back and forth, and of course they include me in these group chats, and I'm just, okay, dude, stop texting me. So yeah, that was
Trucker Dean says that him and Steve are going to ride down together. Good. Don thought, if you're both going to make the trip and you got to go right by each other, why not come in together? So that's great. He just wrote on there, I guess they've hooked up.
Okay,
shared
good.
numbers, so that's great.
Janice, no, you don't. I mean, you can do all kinds of creative stuff. I mean, you can walk around your place with just your camera and just videotape that. Whatever makes you comfortable. I mentioned that about Hosenfeld, of you guys being intimidated. That is a professional-ass video. That guy did. That's world class. And so I didn't want anybody to think, this is the bar that we're setting for these things, because that is not it. I can't even keep up with that guy. And you can walk around with your camera, show what you want. You can talk through the camera like that. And if you're having any trouble editing any of this stuff, you can put it into pieces and send it to me. And all you got to do, really, I don't mind helping anybody with this, is if when you say something you didn't like, just say cut and keep going. Don, cut that out. Don, cut that out. And I would never put that up there. And you can send some pictures of you and a younger person with your family, and I'll just post it. I'll post up whatever you want. Send me some pictures, some video.
Yeah.
I'll cut it and tie it all together, and I won't make you look stupid.
Yeah, you don't have to put yourself up there, and you wouldn't believe. I mean, we're just like you all. You wouldn't believe how many times we're filming. Whether we're together or just him or just me in there cooking, and we'll go, okay, screw that, cut that, start all over. And you can sort of see when I'm cutting stuff. Don's better at it than I am, but we won't make you look stupid. So even we've done videos before where we just had pictures in front of us, and do that of children, of where you lived, all that. It works good. Tim, I'm glad that you finally made one. He says he's been a subscriber for years, and this is the first live stream he's made, so that's cool.
There you go.
Glad you're here.
My geese fed. Yes, I am taking very good care of your geese, gun dog. I'm very glad it's cold up in eastern Canada, and just keep it that way, because they're shoving down here, shoving them down. So yes, they're being taken care of. It is a freak show around here at geese. I have so many options for this next hunt that starts on the 19th. The guys are showing up on the 19th. We're hunting sea ducks on the 20th. And from what I remember last time, once you go sea duck hunting, you don't really want to hunt anymore that day. You've fired enough shells and kept your balance on that boat and cold out there. So the next day is ducks and geese. And I have so many options. But what I have found here, what I have done, and it has taken this long for me to really realize, we got here in September 2015, and that field was just picked soybeans. There was nothing for anything to eat out there. The next year, with Greg's help and everything, we got millet in, and the birds, came in. They started eating it, and, we picked up the impoundments. The impoundments had nothing but cockerburls in them. I mean, there was nothing. We picked that up, and these birds have to find that stuff and remember that stuff. And every year, it's gotten better and better, with as little harassment of these birds as possible and all that. And what's happened this year, what I have figured out over all this time, is them fuckers live here. They're not going anywhere. There's nothing else they want to do. They eat here, they're peaceful, they're not molested, and they are close by is the problem. They are all fill this cove in the morning and fill those fields, and the first shot that goes off is like, so it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. You really got to work this thing carefully, because they're all, they stay all night in the fields, and right here in the cove. They go in there, they eat all night, they go out and they rest in the river a little bit right here, and they just know there's no reason for them to go anywhere else. We got wheat, we got the millet, we got corn, we got chufa. It's a smorgasbord out there. They can go eat. It's like being in Bosnia at the NATO base. You don't like what's on the American menu, go see what the Dutch are cooking today, or the Germans, you know. So,
Rand, you're not going to annoy us. You ain't a foreigner on here. Okay, somebody wanted to know.
You guys got that. You got that hot chick on that Finlanda vodka. Whoever drew that chick with a patch on her eye, riding that polar bear, it makes you want to go to Finland, because you know there's chicks up there like that. Oh, yeah.
Tim, you wanted to know what was my favorite memory in the Navy. It is very clear to me, my favorite memory. I got made the LPO of my division, the leading petty officer. And I was surrounded... What are you doing?
I'm trying to help you.
I was surrounded by all of these guys that had been in the Navy for a hell of a lot longer than I had. They had been on destroyers and LSDs and all that stuff. And so when I made lead petty officer, I was very proud of myself. But I was looking around at those old, rugged looking guys that had done a lot of time underway, and I thought, this ain't never gonna fly. They are never going to accept me of being in charge and telling them what to do. I was a nervous wreck, and so I had to get up in front of the entire division, and my chief introduced me and told them what my position was going to be. And then he walked away. And I stood up in front of all those guys, and I figured out very quickly that it would never work if I tried to be in charge of those guys. So I stood up and told them, basically, I don't really know what the hell I'm doing. I'm a hard worker, but you guys are the ones that know. I'm here to be taught. You guys teach me. You let me know. And I will make you look good if you'll just help me look a little bit good, because you guys are the ones with all the experience. The looks on their faces changed almost immediately. Nobody bucked me. From that moment on, everybody was so forthcoming and giving me advice, and I took it because they knew what they were doing. And they ended up loving me, and I ended up just being so grateful for the way that they treated me. I was expecting an entire different outcome, but that's when I was sort of proud of myself. I was sort of proud of myself for the way I handled that, and that was probably my favorite moment, where I really felt confident and thought, okay, I can do this shit. That was my favorite time.
She did.
I did pretty good.
They all loved her. The whole command loved her. She was on the fast track up there until I knocked her up. Right.
It wasn't you that knocked me up, Don.
Just because we conceived our...
It was the lifeguard in Coronado.
Just because we conceived our children in the back of a Jeep Cherokee does not make them Indians.
No. Woo!
I got that. I stole that from the Grand National. Anyhow, the Finlanda, I think it's Finlanda vodka. It's just that hot chick with this leather. She looks like a Viking. She's got a big sword.
Yeah, I think it is Finlanda.
And she's riding a polar bear. She's got this...
Well, I don't remember a polar bear. How much were you drinking when you saw that? Maybe she is on a polar bear. I don't remember that.
And she's on a fucking polar bear.
Okay.
You never forget a picture like that. So there you go. So yeah, the sapper on your property.
Whew. I can't see shit.
Oh my God, it's getting bad. What was Diane was a bosun mate in the Navy.
I wasn't. I was a yeoman when I started out, because I had worked in a damn bank before I joined the Navy. And so when you go in there, they ask you what you did, before. And I made the mistake of putting that I was a bank teller. So they made me a yeoman, and I absolutely hated it. I was from Tennessee, out in the country. I wanted to do real Navy stuff. I mean, I wanted to see daylight. I'm an outdoorsy kind of girl. They put me in the belly of that ship just doing office work, and I never saw daylight. I truly didn't. It was dark when I went to work, dark when I got out. I hated it. I'm the only person probably in the Navy that ever wanted to be a bosun mate. I had to strike out to become a bosun mate, and that fit me just like a glove, and I liked it. I was out on the boats and doing real sailor shit.
I had her before she was a bosun mate. She hooked me up with a fake ID. She worked down in the personnel office. Remember that?
Dawn.
I couldn't get in any bars.
He was at 21.
Whole crew. I just come from serving all that time in Japan. I still couldn't get in the damn bar.
He took me.
Oh, shit, I can't get in. So we've arranged it. I got me a nice regular Navy ID card with just my birth date number off 1 year.
I got all dressed up. The girls used to look so pretty on the, we'd just be in our dungarees and boondockers and all that stuff, looking like shit with hats on. And then when it'd be Liberty Call, we'd have our makeup on and our dresses and our high heels and shit. We'd go out. So I got all dressed up, and he came to my berthing compartment and knocked on the door to take me out. And he had on an old pair of blue jeans, and he had this Singapore sling. Singapore sling's a drink in Singapore. Singapore sling t-shirt on, and mountain boots with these long red shoestrings. I've never seen shoestrings long in my life.
Did you go out?
And that's what he wore. And I opened up that berthing compartment door, and I just looked at him, and I thought, holy hell. So we went out. And he was being a perfect gentleman. And we went into a restaurant bar, and he ordered a mixed drink. And I ordered a mixed drink. And they asked to see his ID. And he couldn't get a drink. He was so embarrassed. He was humiliated because he just came back from Yokosuka, Japan. And hell, he worked in a bar over there. So we left, and I don't know, ended up going somewhere, and I probably bought a bottle of Boone's Farm wine or some shit, and the rest is history. But, yep, he wasn't even drinking age. He wasn't even 21.
I was slinging drinks in the enlisted club faster than guys could. You're talking the fleet coming in. Thousands in the Windjammer Club. And I would bartend there while our ship was in dry dock just to make some extra money. Nobody gave a shit. I drank as much as I could hold in every single port I went to. Every one of them. And when I flew home to transfer to the USS McKee, I was in my dress whites, third class bosun mate. I bellied up to a bar, and I asked for a beer, and the guy went, "Let me see your ID card." And I went, "What?" What? I just did never. I was back in America, right in Hawaii. Let me see your ID card. It just went bad from there. I had to get out of that shit. So I was little. She was cradle top.
You were little.
The bar owner called me the other day, and he called me first thing in the morning. I saw it come up, Semper Fi Bar and Grill, and I hadn't even had a cup of coffee yet, so I wasn't taking that call. But as soon as I did, I went in there and I got tidied up, combed my beard, and all that other shit. And I called him, and he just played stupid with me. He said, "I never called you from this number." I was like, "Well, you fucking shit's on my phone." And he said, "No, I would never have called you." So and that was the day that the admiral came out and said that Ralph knew he was never an admiral, and they were beating the hell out of Ralph. So no, I haven't heard anything else. Ever been to the Sea Breeze Club in Roosevelt? I don't remember what that was called. I spent a lot of time in Roosevelt Roads. We'd eat up at the Officers Club. I'm sure I don't remember it being Sea Breeze. Go to Don's Lighthouse. I think I only went to Papa's once. It was Don's Fight House is what it was. That was I tell you one about Don's Lighthouse. Okay, Puerto Rican people are very unindustrious. Let's just put it that way. They had this huge Navy base on there with all these ships that were going in, and the only two fucking bars outside those gates were one filthy fucker, Papa Pub, and Don's Fight House. There was nothing. You'd have expected a strip like in the Philippines or the Hanch in Japan. You know, just this bar district down there, and there was none of that. And so what I would do is I'd take the platoon out to Don's Fight House because it was a couple of miles. You had to take a bus. So I'd take a bus, I'd load the whole platoon up, I'd drive them to Don's Fight House, I'd let them all out, and I would drive the bus back on base, park it by the main gate. I would get a taxi to take me out, and then I'd booze it up with those clowns till it was ready to go. I'd get back in a taxi, go back out, get the bus, go in and get them all, and that was the end of the night. So I do that. I go back to get the bus. I pull the bus up in front of Don's Fight House. It's just a sailor bar. I mean, this place is packed. And I go in and I'm trying to round up that whole platoon that is scattered around this big nightclub. And I finally get them out, and we go out to get on the bus, and that bus is fucking packed with drunk sailors. From packed. And as soon as I walk up, the guy sitting in the right behind the driver's seat goes, "There's no fucking room. You're gonna have to get the fuck off." And I went, "This is my fucking bus." I got in there and I fucking lit those dudes up, and I said, "You motherfuckers, I'll take you back to Fleet Landing. Now I get a fucking peep out of any one of you motherfuckers. It's game on." We loaded the platoon. Drove him back on base. I did let one guy off. We forced him off the bus. He was just being obnoxious. Let him out there, a grove of mangroves somewhere in the middle of that base, and dropped it back off. So it was fine. Get the fuck off the bus. Nobody else fucked with me after that, but fine. How'd I get on that?
I don't know. When we went several years ago, Extreme Seal Experience had just been going strong, and we'd been doing them back to back, and so many people came back every year. We wanted to do something different, so we started going to Puerto Rico and running dive courses. I absolutely loved that course. It was fun because we actually hired dive instructors in Puerto Rico to teach the courses, and the seals were just in the water as backup and all of that, but we got to go on that base. You know, that was way before my time. I didn't know, and all the buildings were still there, and I had a good girlfriend and her husband that had been stationed there, and that's when they had built all the new military housing and stuff, so I could sort of look at them and remember her telling me about the view, you know, outside of her house and stuff. But we went to that Don's Lighthouse. It was painted blue on the outside, and Futurelli, that used to be an instructor, he was with us, and I get with just sort of the same. There were weeds growing up everywhere, but I remember Don and Foot standing out there and telling stories, the good memories and the brawls and stuff that went on. But it was pretty cool. It was cool being on that base.
There you go. Good old Puerto Rico. It was a nice place, and we did so much for the economy down there. They're really struggling now. If that base would have been there during that hurricane, the outcome for those folks would have been a whole lot damn different. But they...
Well, you know, it's happened to a couple of places, and, you know, some of my best friends are Puerto Ricans. I love them to death.
God.
Some of my best friends are Filipinos. But Philippines did the same thing, you know, just a little bit greedy, wanted more money and more money. Same thing happened with Puerto Rico, and there might be a whole lot more about it that I don't know, but that's sort of the take I took, is people got greedy and wanted more money, and then the United States, just like we're freaking out of here, we'll go somewhere else, and seemed like just a bad move, because that brought a lot of business and money to the Philippines and to Puerto Rico, and then when the Navy picks up and just leaves, I mean, there goes all the jobs, you know, there goes all the money that comes in, and it was sad.
It was over the bombing range on Viegas Island, and a bomb went stray, and it killed a couple of Puerto Ricans that worked on the base in an observation tower or something. And they'd had enough. Well, yeah, everybody'd had enough. That was the Navy's response. Going to shut it down. A lot of protesting, and the Navy just left. I mean, it packed its bags and left. That base was destroyed, looted, turned upside down. Everything was, and it's sad. You had there was a lot of shit that went on down there. There was a lot of money being thrown around. Puerto Rico would not be in that shape if that Navy base was still there. It's like the Philippines. The Philippines, I think, just held out for more money to keep Subic Bay, and I think that was the big protest. Just get it the hell out of here. Well, when that went, the Air Force base up north, I forget what the hell that was. There was a lot of military there, and the Navy and the Air Force and the Army and the Marines just packed up and left. It's like, we'll call your bluff. And the Navy's good about that. They'll scrap aircraft carrier projects and, these crazy jets that we do. I mean, they'll just throw it away. And I've always kind of admired that, and I do it myself. We do it. If this ain't working, it just doesn't matter what's invested in it. We won't go a step further.
We are gone.
We will just drop it completely. And,
but in Puerto Rico, I was disappointed because all the years, I really never got to I really have not traveled very much now at 60 years old, but I really hadn't done any traveling whatsoever. The whole time I was married to Don, I was raising the kids, and Don was traveling all around the world. But when we got ready to go and do the dive courses, I got so excited because he had talked so much about Viegas. They had such a good time there and how pretty it was. So I was really excited to be able to go. And when we went, everybody said, "Oh, no, you don't want to go anywhere near there." Now it's just a drug den, I guess. They're just selling drugs. And so, bad.
Oh, well. Sitco Bay. Sitco. Yeah, Clark Air Force Base. That's what it was. I got a good story about Clark Air Force Base.
Jim says, I bet there was surplus of penicillin when Subic closed.
Oh, my God. We leave. What we would do is get on a plane in San Diego, a C-141. We would fly to Hawaii and refuel. Then we'd fly to Guam and then refuel. And then we'd go on to the Philippines. It was like a 24-hour flight. It was terrible. And we would repeat that on the way back. Well, for some reason, there are two platoons of us, and we are going back to San Diego after deployment in the Philippines. And for some reason, that plane has to go to Clark Air Force Base and refuel before it goes on. For some reason, it couldn't refuel in Subic. And so we land in Clark Air Force Base, a place that there's just typically no Navy up there. None. I've got another good story about that. The girls could tell because the Navy guys had beards and they liked that. The Air Force guys couldn't have beards up there. They'd go, "Oh, there's Navy in town." Anyhow, that wasn't the case with us in this platoon. We landed and they said, "Get off the plane. We got to go refuel it. Go in and get something to eat." So we go into this nice ass Air Force, and the Air Force has a nice everything at the airport there. And again, this is no place for the Navy ever goes. And we're all in our camouflage. There's two platoons of us. And one of the guys goes, "Look at that motherfucker." And as soon as he did, that motherfucker saw us. And it was this old Air Force dude. He had hearing aids in his ears. He had that much shit coming off of his dress uniform, and he was wearing a fucking trident. And he saw us, and we saw him, and the kid that was next to him, he was a much, much younger little boot camp guy, elbows him, and you could hear him mouth the words, "They got the same thing you do," pointing to our subdued tridents and shit. And my platoon chief was Frank Wagner, and Frank loved nothing more than confrontation. So here, we're all behind Frank, like 0-0, he's our hero. Frank goes shoving, he was trying to get out the door, and Frank goes over and confronts him, and I'm not kidding you, I never saw it within a minute of Pig going at him. That dude had beads of sweat shooting out of his forehead. And that little kid next to him was going, you could have shoved an apple in his mouth. And all it was from the stories this guy had been telling him about being a SEAL in Vietnam that are all evaporating right in front of his face. And finally Pig went just like that. And that dude reached inside and he unbuttoned that trident and he took those jump wings off and he took the master diver pin off that he was wearing and put it right in Pig's hand. And Pig said, I need that name tag. We're making a plaque for our commanding officer. And he goes, I'll be out of uniform. He said, you were out of uniform the minute you walked in here. And he pulled that name tag off and gave it to him. And Pig said, do what you want with him. And he turned around. And when Pig would say something like that, that meant, go ahead. I'll take care of you guys. Go ahead and beat the shit out of that dude. But he was so humiliated. That whole place saw what happened. All those Air Force dudes. So
well, he deserved that.
We let him slide. Find them everywhere. Find them everywhere. We've had Navy chaplains do that. Terrible. Coda's all hot and bothered.
Catherine, thank you about DJ's boards. He is very talented. They're very pretty. They've got a good group there in that little company, and there are some guys that skate the boards, but mainly they're wall hangers. And all the cast of Navy SEALs have all got those. Toby Keith, a lot of country singers have got his boards, and so thank you. It's Tribe Skate, SKA8, Tribe Skate. But I appreciate that. It's good. Catherine watches them all. Catherine always makes comments on DJ stuff.
There you go. I saw something on here that just struck my memory of being a total punk. And that was we flew in, like, when I arrived over there at 17, I had to catch my, we went to the Philippines, and then I had to go to Clark to get a flight to Yokosuka to meet our ship in Japan. Anyhow, they packed us all on this bus, and they loaded it up with beer. And I'm just 17. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And we are just boozing it up on that bus ride through the Philippines to Clark. And I had piss in a cup. And so I took the cup, it's just a bunch of drunk sailors on there, to throw it out the window. And I hit that window, and the window was closed. They threw piss all over that bus. I thought those dudes were going to throw me out in the middle of the jungle. Yep. Never mind. It'll be the first time. What we have, Terry, the site. I have done some, what was that Pink Floyd song? All in all, it's just another brick in the wall. I was in Yokosuka, and I don't even want to hear any of this new Navy bullshit, man. We didn't have any of these fucked up rules. We would have a liquid lunch every day, beer and a pier. There was, the whole 7th Fleet was there, and there was this big-ass burger joint right there at the head of the piers, and just the sailors would pile off those ships. They didn't want to eat what was there, and they'd go over and we'd drink Olympia beer in this huge open bar with tables and eat burgers, and they had one fucking jukebox in there, and we would get a liquid lunch in there every day. We would just booze it up, Olympia beer, and somebody put that Brick in the Wall song on, and that was the most popular song of the day, and that whole place is rocking. And I didn't think it was loud enough, so I went and tried to adjust the volume in the back of that jukebox and shut that son of a bitch off. Pelting me with beer cans. You should have seen that place turn on me. So yeah, I try to stay away from some of that stuff now. But from about 1,000 sailors in there rocking out to that, and you shut that song off, as popular as that was. No way, man. No way. How are we doing here? Did we miss anybody's thing?
I don't think. They want you to keep singing.
Keep singing, Don. There you go. No, I've never been to Gitmo. Never been to Gitmo. Holy beer. That's right. We were in Seattle when the volcano went off.
Mm-hmm. Mount St. Helens.
See that from our ship. That was and the second time it went off, that was devastating. But the first one was just like, holy shit! Look at that thing.
But it was beautiful.
Yeah, it wasn't for some of the people that were up there hiking around it, though. Buff bass. Terrible.
Speaking of CBD and a hookah, you're going to have to help me explain it. There's a house down here right on Hudson Road that we pass every time we go to town. And out in their backyard, I don't know how to describe it except it's like a little wooden trailer. It's like a gypsy, trailer. Or in the movies, like the medicine man that sold snake oil would always have this little trailer that they pull behind.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. And there's one sitting down there in that yard with grass all grown up around it. And I tell him every single time we pass it, I want that thing. I want that thing so bad.
I'll pull you in.
I'm from the hippie peace love generation, and I could see all my tapestries up in there and my beautiful hookah. My son came back from Afghanistan somewhere and brought me back this beautiful blue hookah that's all engraved and stuff, and I'd love to have that thing. Just, it'd be cool. Why don't you see if you can get me that for Christmas? I bet it'd sell it to you.
I'm getting you a picture of Marlena Dietrich for Christmas. Yeah. It'll be a nice one. I'll get her a few of the old beautiful movie stars. Those are my favorites there.
Yeah, Lazy Bones, a caravan. That's exactly what it is, and I need that thing.
Gypsy trailer.
Yeah.
First thing they tell us in Road to Spain, don't go to that damn gypsy place. That's where everybody'd run to.
Yep.
No, we don't have any Christmas plans. We have friends coming in, and Doug and Becky. So we got a really busy kind of that month of this hunt happening. Then Christmas is happening. You got to get that done. You got to clean up. Then you got to get that done. Then you got to get cleaned up, and then the next thing is going on. So it's busy here.
It's gonna be busy and that, but we love when our friends come down from Virginia Beach. It's just really chill. We have been friends for so long. It's not like we have to entertain or feel like everything has to be perfect. We just sort of do what we want to do and eat when we want to eat. So, but just 2 days before they come, the boys are leaving. So he's right. More groceries to be bought. Barn has to be clean, and then as soon as Doug and Becky leave, we got another bunch coming in. So December and January is going to be very, very busy here.
Yeah. There you go, welder. No sweat. Just give us some heads up. We never know what the hell we're doing. And if Greg's still on here listening.
I don't think Greg's on here tonight.
He was on here a little while
ago.
ago.
Was he?
You're still on here. I got that pipe out of that pipe and drug it with a tractor all the way up to the other impoundment, and I am flooding that field tomorrow with that. So, yeah, Greg will know it. Underneath the driveway, and ripped it all out with a tractor. I got a lot of shit done here today. I got a lot done.
You did. Welder would love that, and it's not just wounded guys, that come up. A lot of our subscribers and people come up, so we just need a heads up, but we'd love to meet you too.
Worse than the opiates, opioids. There you go. What the hell?
What?
Port Department. The best, yeah. Road to Spain. That's where they used to drop the platoons off. Coming back from Afghanistan, my son included. And they would lock them in this resort that was just there. They could do any fucking thing they wanted. They just could not leave that resort. Get it out of their system. They'd ride all the booze and everything. I think it was a week or 2 weeks. They had to stay there. Beautiful, right in Road to Spain, right on the water there. So, but you're not leaving. There you go. Not during hunting season. It's tough around here. You need the outdoor stuff to go on, and that's not running out there and freezing your ass off. The summer time, usually spring and summer's good because there's more shit to do. We don't have to sit in here at the kitchen table and look at each other because it's too bitter outside.
Yeah, the spring and summer's better for just a visit. If you're not a hunter, because it gets dark at 5 o'clock and it's cold as shit and we're sort of stuck in here. But the spring and summer, when we can be out and just fish off of the point, swim in the pool, that's a good time to come and visit.
There you go. There you go. We love you, Donko. But I do gotta have a beer with you, man, because I don't understand that whole thing. I mean, I got a liberal side to me, but I wouldn't call myself a liberal, except I got a pretty liberal side about a lot of shit. I was like, hey, ain't bothering anything, let it go. But I don't know that if a liberal is just everything liberal. I mean, there's nothing coming out of that thing.
No, because if Donko was just everything liberal and all about that, Donko would not be on this site, and Donko would not enjoy our company.
I personally think that Orcasia chick is really smoking hot. But she needs to spend a weekend with me down here, just me and her. I'd straighten her right up.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to see that. So, but Donko, you asked earlier about how to load it up and stuff. Terry's going to make a video.
We have it.
Terry's on here, going to do a video. We're going to put it up and explain it to you. But Donko, I personally would love it if you would go into McPee's. I'd love to see our old stomping ground. I think there's a lot of people here that have not been to Coronado, and I think you have a lot of things to show out there. I think that everybody would love to see. Danny's. Oh God, you've got shit everywhere. I don't know what everybody thinks this office looks like, but you can't turn around in it. I bet you there's 15 guns piled up right here in the corner. It is a damn train wreck.
It's hunting season.
It's like that all the time. Don't blame it on hunting season. You're just a big slob.
What the hell were we on about there?
I don't know.
Before I started knocking all my shit over. Oh, he's very excited. We've been brushing up blinds today. There's a lot of work that needs done, man. I don't screw around with these hunting seasons, not one little bit. I'm going to put you on the best spot on the best birds, and I just sit out there and I just watch them. We don't bother them. I was heartbroken today, especially because we had a shit meal. Shitty. That we had to drive out of here at 9 o'clock this morning and run thousands of those geese up. And then we had, I ordered a mushroom, egg, and ham omelet, or cheese, ham, and mushroom omelet, and I didn't get any mushrooms in the thing. That's how stupid that kid was.
It really was a bad breakfast. It was bad.
Okay, so
and it was expensive.
You got going on here?
Nothing. I'm going to go in there and just eat everything I can eat since I'm starting my diet tomorrow.
Bush. I would like to hear some words of wisdom. Yeah, I mean, I do. I'm not being sarcastic with him. I like understanding people. That's probably why I'm really good at dealing with these phonies. You'll see a little bit of understanding go on today dealing with this guy. But some things I don't understand. I would like to know, are you selective with what you're about? But death penalty, I mean, do you guys just gang up and there's nothing coming out of this little circle? I don't know. All right, buddy. It's time to go. Here, Mom. Oh, boy. He's very, very sad.
Well, thank you guys for showing up tonight. I think we finally got this internet thing figured out. We've had a couple of really good nights with no interruptions and no problems on here.
Got it figured out.
It's working out really good. And so, take your cameras, take your cell phones. Terry's going to help you out. He got any questions, there's a support thing right up at the top. and Terry will be able to guide you through it. But we do look forward to seeing all of you guys. I think it's really going to be fun. I think it's going to make us all a little bit closer. We'll get to sort of see where you're from. So don't be embarrassed or don't be afraid you're going to screw it up because you can't. Just fire it off to us, and Don will edit it and make you look good.
Yep. Shoot it on whatever. Cell phone, doesn't much matter. And I've been a member of a skeet and gun club here for 3 years. I've been there one time. It's right up the road, too. It's a terrible part. They got some kind of funny hours. I really became a member to get the guys down so they could shoot before we took them hunting, but that has not worked out very well. But we did take Slade's boys down there and help them out with the 20 and 28 gauges. Really nice trap and skeet range, and the best part of that trap range is you can get on the other side of it. It makes more sense than you're flushing upland birds like pheasants and they're flying away, but you can set up for the ducks and geese as they're coming by, and that's a really good one. So the boys were finished shooting that day, and I just decided to show off, and I said, "Give me that little piece of shit gun." Just shoved 2 shells in there. I went, "Pull a double, pull!" Woof woof! I just feathered both of them. Yeah.
Can you get this cockerel out of his
I could
tail?
probably never do it again. I'm really good. This Sea Duck will tell you. Sea Duck was really impressed. He's like, "My God, man."
This is a daily basis getting cockerels out of everybody's tail. Bye, guys.
Never seen anybody shoot that good in my life.
See you tomorrow. Come on, buddy.
See you guys. Have a really nice evening. We got a show coming on tonight.
Shit, no, we ain't got no shows.
I'll go in and edit this phony for a while. This guy's entertaining. The only problem with this one is as I was doing it, the computer screen kept going black, and it would come out black, and it would come out it's black. So you're seeing my face because I rely on that light from the screen. I just go dark, and then I'm like,
What caused that?
I don't know. Well, he called back. Sometimes they do. Never mind.
Bye, Janice.
Never mind. See you guys. Thanks. Thanks a lot.